All right, welcome to 49ers Live tonight. Little delay. We're right here live in our podcast in our broadcast center in San Francisco, Satellite Digital Muse. Glad you guys are joining us for Niners Radio 49ers Live tonight as we just um, the the champion the second half of the divisional playoffs has came and went. You just watched a great one in Buffalo at Newmark Field in Orchard Park, New York. The second half of the semifinals, as as the Buffalo Bills prevailing as they go on the beat, end up winning by a score of as they go on to win by a score of 27-25. So the Bills are back into the going to go to the AFC Championship for the first time in 4 years. Glad you guys are tuning in tonight on Niners Radio 49. Yours truly, Professor B. You want to check us out, youtube.com/@ Niners Radio 49. And don't forget, please click the subscribe button because our mission is to get 1,000 subscribers. So we're going to take a look back of it. The Bills were winners. They'll be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs for the championship of the American Football Conference. And the Bills handled the Chiefs 30-21 back in Week 11, and the Buffalo had forced three Ravens turnovers in the game, including Lamar Jackson loses a fumble. I'm watching on the monitor on NFL Network. They're having their game day finals, so guys want to come on tonight. Please hit the subscribe button here on Niners Radio 49 as we are on the air tonight. Bills have lost three straight playoff games to the Chiefs, all since 2020. And this is, I believe, this is going to be the crap. 3, 5. This is, I believe, going to be the sixth or seventh time that these two teams will be hooking up in the postseason in their history. These two teams go back to the days of the original American Football League. So we're gonna get you going. So we are going to take a look at the scoreboard tonight from the scoreboard from the divisional playoffs and also the early game. It was the Philadelphia Eagles holding on to a win over the LA Rams in Philadelphia, and it snowed. So that means the Philadelphia Eagles will be advancing to the NFC Championship game for the second time in 3 years. As we'll take a look today, it was the Chiefs taking their first step towards trying to for the two-time defending Super Bowl champions, beating the Houston Texans 23 to 14, and there was a lot of controversy in that game, in that playoff game yesterday in Kansas City. As we take a look, I think the game was much closer than people think. If you're a Texans fan, All right, we apologize for the technical difficulties. Our system, we got cut off offline, so we apologize for the inconvenience. So we're going to take a look. Let's just take a look at the final stats of that game.
it's a great group of guys to play with. It's fun. We've gone through a lot this season. Um, we had our ups, we had our downs, and it just made us closer. And so when we have wins like this, it just makes it that much better because you're grinding with these guys, good and bad. And so this is an exciting one, but we're not done yet. So
You have preached ball is life all season long,
man,
right?
man,
Tonight, when you absolutely had to have it, you
man,
got it.
what was it, 5?
5.
Yeah, 5. They were big ones. The forced fumble started it off. The interception for a touchdown. I think Oos had a great block on the touchdown.
Yeah.
Mikey had 2, and then Chin closed it off. Like when you coming into this building, you gotta create turnovers, and those were some big plays.
Each of the last 2 wins, it's you, Terry, and Jaden coming off the field together at the end. And some of that might be media obligations, whatever. But it seems like you always take a moment to say something to those guys. What are those moments like?
It's just kind of like not
So that was Bobby. That video courtesy of NBC4 in Washington D.C. We were just taking a look around the NFL. So the Commanders, with the win, they now advance to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. And the last time they were in the NFC Championship game, that was the year they ended up winning the Super Bowl when Joe Gibbs was the head coach, and you know, and it also, that was the year that they went on to win the Super Bowl, beating the Buffalo Bills, and that could be a possibility. We could have a rematch, a Back to the Future Super Bowl from the '90s, a rematch of Super Bowl 26. That was some 33 years ago, back in January around this time of 1992. That was the last time that franchise has been in the Super Bowl, and that's probably one of their biggest playoff road wins. Their first The big key of that game was the big punt return by Darrell Green, who was injured in that game with some injured his rib cage. He returned the punt for the potential game-winning touchdown. That victory sent the Redskins to the NFC Championship, where they defeated the Minnesota Vikings by a score, end up beating them in the NFC Championship game before they end up beating the Broncos in Super Bowl 22. Well, let's take a quick timeout. When we continue, we'll take a look of the today's scores of today's game. I'm Brian Professor B. Davis. We'll take a look of the second half of the divisional playoff. We'll take this short break. You're watching 49ers Live tonight on Niners Radio 49. All right. Well, we All right, we continue on Niners Radio 49. So we look at the championship Sunday will be next Sunday. It will be the Washington Commanders, formerly known as the Washington Redskins. I hope they can get them, persuade them for getting them back to the Redskins. They'll be playing the opening window tomorrow. That will be a 12 noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's the early window on Fox, and then the late game will be Buffalo at Kansas City. That's a 3:30 late window for CBS for the American Football Conference Championship, and with a trip to Super Bowl 59 on the line. So let's continue on Niners Radio 49 as we continue on Niners Radio 49. You look at that game today. The Eagles were winners. The Eagles had 5 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, 10 passes defended, and they had 2 fumbles recovered. And we take a look at the score from that game. We take a look at that from the scoreboard.
Gonna roll, flip it.
here we go. So that's how it's going to be. Now let's get into some 49ers news. 49ers news so far. So Brian Greasy a few days ago declined the offer to take the New York Jets offensive coordinator job. They're still looking for, I think, Larry Sorensen is kind of the prime candidate to be the Niners to be promoted to the Niners special teams coordinating position, and they're still looking for defensive coordinators jobs help for the Detroit Lions. This was a disappointing loss. You know, uh, Aaron Gruen and I think one of the other assistants for the Lions are going to be interviewing for coaching position vacancies. So, that's a tough thing. We always talk about, there's no guarantees you're going to get back to it. And, that's a sad thing. When you have these opportunities, you better take full advantage of it. And, we'll see what happens. The Lions are still a young team. They got the injuries on defense finally caught with them. Jared Goff was not quite sharp. He had not the Redskins, but the Commanders first forced 3 turnovers in the game. So we now are going to look as we continue on our Niners Radio 49ers Live tonight, special postseason edition. Even though the 49ers are not playing right now, even though they're home watching the playoffs, we are going to have in our next segment, in our final segment, we're going to have in our final segment, and I think everybody in our final segment, this is going to be a segment in our final segment on Niners Radio 49, we're going to take a look at the 49ers segment. It will be it's a segment called 49ers Showcase Cultural and Pride, and this is a piece from 49ers.com doing this segment. Former 49er great, former 4-time Super Bowl champion Jesse Sopolo with this. I'm going to show you this is in our last segment of the thoughts on the 49ers showcase, and it's called Cultural Pride 49ers Epics Collection. Hope you enjoy this segment.
These petals stem beyond football. A victory laid from congratulations. Leaves and flowers for celebrations. A connection to our land, our people, and strength in our community. A sign of growth, honor. We give wholehearted love. Show sympathy with nature's beauty. In our modern-day gathering place, we work towards our apex. Whether we're here across the Pacific or honor home in our hearts, we grow more faithful and forever loyal to the soil.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight on 49ers Live tonight. We'd like to thank all of you for watching 49ers Live tonight. Glad you guys enjoying us on this podcast tonight. The Niners end up, the 49ers, though around this time it was actually 5 years ago today. And we look back at our Niners Radio 49 flashback. We're going to take a look back of... it was I believe it was 5 years ago today, back on, it was on December 19th, it was 2019, 2020, 5 years ago today, that the 49ers were playing the It was in the NFC Championship game 5 years ago. Niners were taking on the Green Bay Packers NFC Championship game. And we're going to try to get a little bit of that highlight, a quick highlight, where he set a Niner playoff record. He had 200 rushing yards, 10 yards in that NFC Championship game. And as the Niners end up winning that game by a score of we'll just give you a little bit of a clip from that game. We show you a little bit of a highlight film right here from the NFC Championship game. He ended up in this contest. He ended up having 4 touchdowns, 210 yards rushing. And the Niners ended up winning that game. They would go on to go to the Super Bowl. That was exactly 5 years ago today. And I'll never forget doing just showing you a little bit of that clip. So yep. So that was the game. That was 5 years ago, and then now in this segment, we're going to just take a look back. We're doing Niners Radio 49, our flashback segment from 5 years ago, and I wanted to take us back at a time of where we are then and where we are then and when we are now. That video footage was courtesy of Fox Sports, so. So Niners ended up winning 37-20. And the Niners were back in the Super Bowl for the first time in 7 years. We're going to show you that clip in just a few. So we'll take this quick time we're going to take this quick break, and we'll be right back right after this. Welcome back on Niners Radio 49. We're going to take a little bit of a Niners Radio 49 flashback segment. This was 5 years ago during the NFC Championship game. Yours truly, we're doing post-game recap out at Candlestick, or I should say over at Levi Stadium. The Niners defeating the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game, 37-20.
Have won the 2019 NFC Championship.
They won the NFC Championship and I want to go back on our Niners Radio 49 flashback tonight. It was 5 years ago today. Raheem Morris had a game of the ages as he would break the record for the rushing 200. He had franchise record. He broke Colin Kaepernick's old record of 180 yards rushing, what he did against the Packers in the NFC Divisional playoff. And now we're going to show you this clip. This was 5 years ago out at Levi Stadium. Wasn't that long ago. So enjoy this clip on our Niners Radio 49 flashback.
I'm Brian Professor B. Davis here outside of Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Welcome to your San Francisco 49ers post-game recap here at Levi Stadium outside the Mecca in Santa Clara, right here by Empire Road. Your San Francisco 49ers have won the 2019 NFC Championship, beating the Green Bay Packers here at the Mecca, 37-20 at the Mecca here. Sunday night here as we're doing this taping here at the Mecca in Santa Clara. It was a day for the ages for running back unsung hero Raheem Mostert, who broke a new franchise record for most runs, yards in scrimmage by 49 postseason record. He passed up Colin Kaepernick's old record with 188 yards rushing in there back 7 years ago. As Mostert had 29 carries, 200 on the ground. At the Packers 7 years ago in the 2012 NFC Divisional playoff in the Niners 45-31 victory. The Niners were up 27-0 at halftime. Aaron Rodgers, the old gunslinger, was on fire in the second half. He finishes the day 31 out of 39 for 326 yards. 77 yards passing, but it does not matter. The Niners use an effective ground attack to attack the Green Bay Packers. In the contest, as a team, they had 40 carries. He had 40 carries as a team. They had 285 yards rushing on 40 carries. And it averaged over near close to 7 yards a pop on the ground. And then Deebo Samuel, he had 2 catches for 43 yards. By the way, Raheem Mostert had 2 balls caught for 6 yards. Raheem Mostert had 226 all-purpose yards. And the 220 yards is the most run in a playoff game, in a single playoff game, since Eric Dickerson ran for 248, still the all-time NFL postseason record with 248 yards in the 1985 NFC Divisional playoff against the Dallas Cowboys in Anaheim. In the Rams 20. Nothing win. Oh, 54, 2 weeks. Defeated the Tennessee Titans in the AFL League, known as the AFL, the American Football Conference Championship. They will take on the 49ers 2 weeks from today in Super Bowl 54 in Miami. It's the all Joe Montana Super Bowl. That's right. Joe versus Joe, Montana versus Montana. It's the Niners of the old guard versus the 49ers spin-off the Kansas City Chiefs of all of the Joes in Alex Smith's Super Bowl. We will have coverage of Super Bowl 54, news and updates all throughout the next 2 weeks, all through next week, and the week leading up to Super Sunday, 2 weeks from today. The Niners and the Chiefs. Kickoff time is at 3:30 p.m. Pacific. The game will be seen on Fox. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will give you the play-by-play in action. The Niners are going back to the Super Bowl. It'll be the third time, by the way, the Niners will be playing the Super Bowl in Miami. Of course, the Super Bowls in Miami have been in the Niners in the past. They've won 2 of the 5 Super Bowls were in Miami. The Niners defeating the Cincinnati Bengals 20-16 in the thrilling come behind victory. Montana taking the Niners deep for the game-winning touchdown by John Taylor in Super Bowl 22 in Miami. Then 7 years later, in 1995, the Niners routed the San Diego Chargers, and Super Bowl 29, 25 years ago, 49-26, as Steve Young threw for 6 touchdown passes in a rout over these San Diego Chargers. So we're going to have a lot of news on Niners Radio. Stay tuned all throughout the week. Niners Radio with Brian Bauer and Tina Howard will be there. We'll recap the NFC Championship. We'll get you set. I will be on for Monday quarterback, the NFC Championship recap. On Monday, we will talk about it all throughout the coming days and weeks, who you like, and, Niner fans, where this team was at 4 years ago, from after when Harbaugh and the team parted ways to the change of Jim Tom Sula and Chip Kelly to now John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, who becomes he's now the first. And we got my man. We got my man. You got. So we will.
Right here.
So Niner fans, enjoy this. Enjoy every minute of this. Niner faithful. The Niners are the champions of the National Football Conference. We'll be right back in 2 weeks' time. We give you our Niners update, and Niner fans, enjoy every minute of this. You deserve it. The champions of the NFC, where this team was at 4 years ago. I mean, we go from Tom Sula, Kelly, now it's Shanahan and Lynch, and you got to give credit to Jed York. Yeah, he can take a lot of heat for some of the decisions, and hey, he got this one right, and the Niners are now just one win away from winning the franchise's 6th Super Bowl in franchise history. And we're going to give you all the coverage and all the reports from Miami and so much more. For the latest news on 49ers, and if you want to get your NFC Championship swag, your shirt and cap, go to 49ers.com or shop49ers.com. That's it from here from Levi Stadium. I'm Brian Professor B. Davis, and so long. Niners win it over the Green Bay Packers. They're the champions of the National Football Conference. They'll take on the Kansas City Chiefs 2 weeks from today. And on behalf of the entire staff of the Urea Sportsnet Bay Area and Niners Radio, we send our congratulations to the San Francisco 49ers and Empire Road to the 49ers organization as they are the champions of the 2019 National Football Conference. 49ers football, or to make that 2019 NFC champion 49er football.
Super Bowl.
Faithful then, faithful now. Go Niners!
Super Bowl. Go Niners!
That was not that long ago, 5 years ago, when we were out there on this date 5 years ago today when the Niners defeated the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game, winning it by a score of 37-20. And, you look where we are then, and we look where we are now 5 years later. A lot has happened since that loss. The NFC in the Super Bowl, of course, 2 weeks later, puts things in perspective. And, a week after that Super Bowl, the Niners winning this NFC Championship game as the team was boarding on a chartered flight to South Florida down to Miami. Word came out when Kobe Bryant, Laker legend Kobe Bryant, passed away. Tragically died in a plane crash with his young daughter. And, that kind of puts things into perspective of that loss, a true legend. And then a week later, or I should say after they 2 weeks later after the Niners beat the Packers, the Niners end up losing that heartbreaker to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And it's just puts things in perspective because of not knowing to lose that Super Bowl the way they did, and then about little more than I think about at least 6 weeks later after the Super Bowl defeat, that was nothing more fails in comparison when the world changed forever with the COVID situation, the pandemic that shut the industry down for the rest of the 2020 calendar year. Everything was shut down for the rest of the 2020 calendar year. And then you couple with the fact with the George Floyd case, that the murder trial of George Floyd was beaten to death by a Minneapolis cop, and then it has triggered the riots, not only in the Minneapolis, affected in that community, but all around the country. And people were just riot and looting, and it was just a real tough time in this country. And that puts things in perspective, where we are then and where we are now. And, crazy things happened, it was around that time 5 years ago. I was the final months of when my grandmother had passed, and eventually in June of 2020, and then I met a cool, ended up meeting a young lady, a cool friend. Met a young lady who were about the same age, who just went through a period of change, who had just lost her dad to cancer back in 2019. I think around that same week, the same week when the Niners were getting ready to play the Packers, and I knew her, or met her for the first time. I was rehabbing my knee over at a beach, and it keeps things in perspective. And it was just it was crazy times in this country, and for the 49ers after that loss, with no training camp, the Niners were just decimated by injuries in 2020. Ended up going 6-10, but then were able to rebound to get back to the NFC Championship game for 3 straight years and get back to the Super Bowl last year, lose another heartbreaker to the Chiefs again, and then this year, just like in 2020, the injuries just decimated this team, and they were 5-4 through 9 games, and hoping that they could play better in the second half, and they just never able to get that consistency going. And then the Niners end up losing 7 of their last 8 games to go 6-11. They finished dead last in the division, and the 11 losses is the most by a Niner team since 2018, since Kyle Shanahan's second year as Niners head coach. So that post game we did for what happened 5 years ago now puts things into proper perspective. So, a lot has changed since then. After in 21 they went to the NFC Championship game. That was the final time that they lost a heartbreaker to the Rams, and then 2 years, and then just about right after the season, the Brian Bauer and Dina Howard, who was there running Niners radio, finally decided they didn't want to do it no more. This was their 10th and final year. I came on board in 2017, so I told Brian that I was gonna I would love to continue with the series, and we are continuing to push as hard as we can to be one of the top podcasters in the country, and we're not going to be stopping. We just keep on pushing, and I think this is kind of a full-time job I'm really trying to push for, because I really think I feel more comfortable working remotely, either at home or at a neutral site from home, because a lot has happened to me in recent years. With what happened, and I really thought we were making the turnaround, be on the come up in 2020, but then COVID really just drew everything off whack and set everything back for the rest of 2020 and through a good portion of 21. Then, of course, at the time I was still doing routine reporting and doing some play-by-play for USF Dons baseball, and then when things got back to normal for the fall of 21, it looked like things were going to turn, and then unfortunately, with some of the issues that happened with non-COVID pandemic stuff, came to fruition with the baseball program, and was well illustrated. And then, when Coach Neo Giarratano, who was fired unceremoniously, and which, by the way, I think a little more than 2 weeks from now, will hopefully be getting a decision what's going to end up happening with his situation with the courts. We're hopefully to get some good news soon, and hopefully he could get back and doing coaching. If it wasn't for him giving me that opportunity to do baseball back in 2000, 25 years ago, I don't think I would not even be in this position. But that what happened a few years ago, kind of, I took some steps back and had to really examine myself with what kind of people I want to be associated with, and really had to do some soul searching. And I think it was a good thing to step away from doing Niners Radio 49 because I had just got promoted to be the full-time mediator information director, and then when that whole thing, my baseball gig got wiped out again because of the issues what happened at USF. I had to shut down. I had to go on a hiatus for the next, I believe, 4 or 5 months, and and for like I said, I apologize. We weren't able to have a full. It was really that happened during the week of the start of the new league year free agency period, and we weren't able to have a full off season of free agency news and with the draft coverage, and because of that, and as time went by, the 2022 off year, we got back around early August. We only had the month of training camp and really truncated, but things have gotten better. And, even despite the disappointment of this year for 49er fans, I mean, last year, the Super Bowl, I wish the outcome would have been different, but I think it's in good hands now because, sometimes in life you have to take a step back before you go forward. And I'm very at ease with peace. And I know, the big thing is winning that, being one of the Boost Award winners, and winning that $1,000 grant. And like I said, we still got to keep pushing, man. We still got a lot of work to get done. No breaks though. So we're gonna continue on Niners Radio 49. We'll continue the goal next year. Of course, the 49ers will be hosting the Super Bowl next year. We'll be the site Santa Clara, and we're gonna hopefully soon in the next few months start preparing for that. And it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of stuff going on, and we're going to be right on there, out there next year. So we have to, it takes time for this to get these things going. Going to be a lot of, but that would be one of my ultimate dreams, to be part of that Super Bowl experience, because these things don't happen too much, and hopefully get a chance to be this 25 years trying to rededicate myself. This could be a year of redemption. So we're going to wrap it up for tonight. We'd like to thank all of you for watching Niners Radio 49. Thank all of you watching Niners Radio 49 tonight. And, and we thank you for all of you guys watching. And then again, Championship Sunday will be next. That will be next Sunday. Will be Championship Sunday. The early window will be the early window will be the Washington. So the early game will be at 12 noon, Philadelphia against Washington in Philadelphia. First time these two teams will be hooking up in the in a playoff game since the NFC wildcard game in 1990. And then in the AFC, that will be on Fox Sports, the exclusive network home of Super Bowl 59. By the way, the Eagles are in the NFC Championship game for the second time in 3 years, and for the 8th time in the last 25 years. They're going to be playing in the NFC Championship game, 8th time in the last 25 years. Or I think in the last 25 or in the last 24 years, 23, 24 years. Yeah, for the 8th time in the last 25 years. For the 8th time in the last 25 years that the Eagles will be playing in the last 24 years, I should say, or the 8th time in the last 23 years that the Eagles will be in the NFC Championship game. And they'll be the early game, and then the late game will be Kansas City hosting the Buffalo Bills in Kansas City. As we're down to the final four teams trying to punch their ticket to the Big Easy in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59 in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks from today. And tomorrow on Niners Radio 49, we'll have another special edition of Niners Radio 49. We're going to go back in our Niners Radio 49 flashback. We'll take a look back of Super Bowl 19, the 40-year anniversary. Niners and Miami Dolphins. We'll break down the game. We're going to have fun tomorrow. We're going to break down the game. We will go back into we'll take you back in memory lane, and it's going to be a good one tomorrow. You're going to enjoy it. Enjoy the treat tomorrow. So for the latest news on 49ers News, so much more, go to 49ers.com. I'd like to wish all you watching tonight on our YouTube and our platforms. Check us out on youtube.com/@NinersRadio49. If you want to watch this replay of this podcast or watch all the content, please please check us out. And don't forget to click the subscribe button. Our mission is we're trying to get more than 200 or 1,000 subscribers. That's very important. So we'll be going to be continuing to reach new heights in 2025. Thank you for watching, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Tomorrow, of course, it's the inauguration day, and if you're going out there, please protest, be out there, be safe, and be at peace. And it's national holiday today, observance of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I'll talk to you tomorrow doing sometime in the midday. We'll probably have another recap of Super Bowl 19, the 40th anniversary of the Niners and the Miami Dolphins. We'll break down how these two teams got to Super Bowl 19 at Stanford Stadium. And we'll go down a little bit of memory lane as well. So that's it for now. I'm Brian Professor B. Davis, and so long. Thank you for watching 49ers Live tonight on Niners Radio 49. Wish all of you a very happy, pleasant, good evening, everybody.